Welcome all sports fans, everyone across the nation, y'all. This is another episode of Tuesdays with TJ. This is episode number 9, as a matter of fact. So this is crazy, man. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. Shout yourself out, TJ.
What up, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic week and enjoying the crazy NFL season. It is a madness.
Hey, that is absolutely correct, though. It is, man. Oh, also, our homegirl PJ's in the building as always. It's my ride or die right there. We had a crazy week 4, and honestly, let's be real. We both knew this week was the craziest weekend of all so far to start this year off. The parity of the league so tight, and this week 4 just demonstrated all that. It was tough to pick teams. It was tough to get a read on each game, and we kind of had a 50-50 with the coin. How do you feel about week 4's matchups, man?
It is one of those. It's like you don't know nothing really when it comes to the NFL. Like, oh, we assume the Jets are going to get blown out. It's a tight game, like to the point where clearly the refs got involved. Like the Dolphins struggling against the Bills, the Browns only putting up 3 against the Ravens, and the Rams nearly losing to the Colts. It's just like, what is going on? It's absolute mental.
And let's not forget about those Bengals as well.
Yeah, those Bengals. What is wrong?
Week 4 was crazy, man. I enjoyed it outside of being a Saints fan, but I definitely enjoyed it, man. It had its good and its bad, its ups and downs from a lot of from across the NFL. But at one point, it was good. It was good. So I can't complain one bit. Obviously, we're gonna find out as week 5 and week 6 and week 7 come, teams that are going to separate themselves from the pack, right? We know about the Niners, the Eagles, we know about the Chiefs, and now the Bills for sure, Dolphins included.
Yeah.
But we'll start seeing a lot of those teams the next 3 weeks kind of separate themselves. Like, okay, we're a contender as well, right? So don't forget about us. But the crazy part is we don't know what teams they're going to be. That's the cool part.
No. Yeah, and it could be completely different. I think a couple of years ago, the Steelers were like 11-0, and then they completely collapsed and was bounced out of the wild card. So even if those teams are starting to show, you have no idea how bad the collapse could happen. So
yeah, same thing with the who was that? The freaking the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, 7-0, and just boom,
it just
gone.
collapsed. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of that can happen. Right now, I'm hoping that's not the case for one of these teams, but this feels like, because the Cardinals were a surprise team, this feels like the ones that are going to be there, they're already dominated. We know who they are, and we're going to find out about that surprise team within the next 3 or 4 weeks, in my opinion, man. So let's get with it, man. We are a wholehearted channel. We love to talk about the good first. We have our good, our bad, and our downright ugly. Let's get to our good. We had an AFC East showdown between 2 teams trying to put them names out there. We have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins, and this had the makings of an awesome matchup. It went right for one team. It went not so good for the team, y'all. Let's go with the Buffalo Bills defeat the Miami Dolphins by a score of 48-20, and that tells you all about the NFL. You can never get too high, and you can never get too low. TJ, what went right for the Bills, and what went wrong for the Miami Dolphins?
It really is. It's like after that week 1, the Bills really looked themselves in the mirror and go, this is not us. Like, Josh Allen, you need to play better. You can't turn the ball over. And since then, they're running the ball a lot well. And yeah, Josh Allen's playing incredibly well. And do you really think the Dolphins just have got too much of themselves, and the Bills managed to bring them back down to earth? Because that's what it felt like. After the first couple of drives, it was touchdowns, and then the Dolphins started to falter where the Bills kept going. But the Bills did lose Tre'Davious White in this game, which is going to be a big hit to them.
Yes.
But it was a very, very fun game. And it just shows that any given Sunday, like the Dolphins put up a 70 bomb last week, and they lost by 28 this week, so who knows?
Okay, well, with this win, I want to ask you because we know about the Chiefs. They've come out kind of not Chief like to start the year off. My question
Yeah.
is: are the Bills the best team in the NFL? Best in the AFC? Excuse me. How do you rank the Bills right now in the AFC?
Ooh, ooh, that's hard because they're up there as top. I think they are definitely top three. I'd say it's definitely the Chiefs, Dolphins, and Bills up there. They've all got one loss now, with the Dolphins' loss. I think it is one of those rotations. Like obviously the Dolphins struggled this week, so they're not going to be number one. The Chiefs struggled this week, so they're not going to be one. And obviously the Bills, I think, was the most put together team. Obviously the Ravens did very well as well, but I think the Bills are currently number one, but that can easily change. Like I said, with White out, their defense is going to potentially take a step back, allowing other teams to walk forward. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the Bills can hold on with this momentum they've managed to build after the horrific, well, just the meltdown at week one, like losing to a Zach Wilson team. So, but then again, Zach Wilson played very well against the Chiefs this week. So,
Yeah,
who knows?
who,
Like I said, who knows? Who knows at all about the NFL?
well, I tell you what I heard all this offseason was about how great the New York Jets are going to be, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like the Bills said, "Hey, you know what? About time we ain't getting a lot of this heat, a lot of this acknowledging of how good we are, because we've been that team the last 3 or 4 years. So
Mm-hmm.
it felt like they're the forgotten team. And now you start the regular season off, and here come the Miami Dolphins, just dominating, beat the Chargers, beat the Patriots. They mollywop the Broncos, right? So everyone is on, and the Bills like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep talking about everybody else, right? And this
Yeah.
feels like they have a more complete team. That James Cook kid, they're running the football with him now,
They're doing well.
and they're doing good with the running game. And I feel like this is the most balanced the Bills have been on offense, which will do nothing but wonders for Josh Allen. And also that defense, surprisingly, they are balling out, man. I mean, yes, 36-3, excuse me, against the Commanders. That's awesome. But then to pretty much shut down the Dolphins, and look, let's be honest, giving up 20 to Miami is shutting those guys down the way they've been rocking and rolling their football. I think their defense and their running game, they understand now, or I hope they do understand that it can't just be on Josh Allen. And they've gone there trying to put it on Josh Allen's
Yeah.
shoulders year after year, playoff appearance after playoff appearance. You need a running game. You need a defense to go to that next level, which is the Super Bowl. That is their next level. And as of right now, I'm loving what I'm saying. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna be more emphatically. I'm gonna say yes. The Bills currently are the best team in the AFC from just a standpoint of
Fair.
their playmakers and their repertoire on offense and defense. And so far, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Buffalo, man. I mean, you go in to Washington, right? It wasn't a home game; it was a road game where they annihilated those guys. And that same Washington team put a fight against the Eagles.
That's true.
So in Philadelphia, so it
Ooh,
tells you how
yeah.
good this Bills team could be at the end of the year. But like you said, can they maintain it? It is today's NFL. The parity is so cool. The Bills might lay an egg next week against the Jaguars. Is that game in London, by the way? Is that game?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in
It's
London. Okay, it's another London game. I was making
yeah.
sure. So the Jaguars,
No. Yeah. It's
they
the
just went
first time the Jaguars are playing back to
back
back
to
weeks in
back.
London.
They
It's the
just
first time
spent the
any
whole
NFL
week out
team.
there. That's cool.
Yeah,
They
pretty
spent the whole
much.
week out there, man. God, that's dope. That is dope. All right, before we continue with our talks, let's give a shout out to those in the chat right now. We got Infinity Production say, "Yo, what's going on? What's up, Infinity?" I got Matthew Bringham says, "Hey, UST and TJ, we get TJ and PJ in the same house. That's so many J's. I don't know if I can handle it." Daniel Berry Sports Highlight says, "Yo, I got mile marker 301 says, hiya Lions Pride." That's there with the smiling emoji. Travis 303's in the building showing love. Says if Mahomes is Ferrari, Josh Allen a Porsche, and Burrow a Corvette, the Giants paid $160 million for a Ford Pinto. Oh
Uh,
Lord.
That I told you that contract's going to look like Flacco's. I told you, and it does. They overpaid.
Let's go. You guys are awesome, man. Keep those comments coming. I got Ron Duffney says hi. Peter said, "What's up, RD?" So let's get it out. So we talk about the Bills and their dominant victory over the Dolphins. And I'm gonna be real with you. You're right though. I'm not gonna say the Dolphins for spelling themselves. I just feel like the Bills got a chip on their shoulder. Just from all the
Fair.
non-talk about them. It's been all about New York in the offseason. Rightfully so. Aaron Rodgers is a big deal, right? Going to New York. And then it was all about Miami the first 3 weeks of the season. It was like,
Mhm.
yeah, all right, we got something for you. Come on to Buffalo. We're going to show you that we still run the AFC East. And that now, hopefully, that is a wake-up call for Miami, and they'll get things right back and rolling. And I think they kind of will. So I'm not too worried about Miami like falling off a cliff or nothing like that. Yeah, they'll be fine. Their offense too potent as long as these guys can stay healthy.
True, yeah. If they do fall off a cliff, something's seriously wrong. And the only reason they fell off a cliff last year is because of the two injuries,
Yeah,
but
they
they
did.
were on
Yeah,
pace to essentially do what they were doing this week. So
facts,
it
facts.
was a bit of a shock that the Dolphins didn't keep it as close as it we were expecting. Like even though I had the Dolphins to win, I expected it to be, I don't know, 35-40. You know what I mean? That very close game, but only to put 20 points up is a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, it was 20.
So
It was
hopefully,
21-14, kind of in almost into the halftime. So they would, but then just
yeah.
towards the end, and Stephon Diggs, man. If you guys don't know, I'm on another show called As the NFL Turns. We do that. It's our NFL pregame show every Sunday morning, and
Oh, nice.
we have a topic basically saying, uh, name that one person who's going to have a ball out game. And I said, hey, I said Stephon Diggs. I said 150. Two tutties, but he went 120 and three tutties. I felt like Stephon Diggs was going to show up. Yeah,
Oh.
I was so close. I just say that I got a feeling Stephon Diggs is going to show up, man. And he did in a big way. But I'm loving that running game as well, y'all. All right, so the Bills dominate the Dolphins. We both agree that the Bills right now currently might be the number one team in the AFC. How do you guys feel about that? Let us know
Yeah.
in the comments, man. All right, let's continue with the good, y'all. We had a Sunday night game, which turned out to be a fantastic matchup. It was great down to the wire. The defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs, defeat the New York Jets, led by Zach Wilson, by a score of 23-20. This game had everything you wanted, man. Wild stuff going on, but it was only like that because of one man and one man only, and that is Zach freaking Wilson, y'all. And the Chiefs win 20-20, but let's talk about Zach Wilson. It's a feel-good story in a loss, right? It's
Yeah.
gotta be. This is the best that Wilson has played, and here's the really good part about it. Before I let you talk, it was bright lights,
Hmm.
Sunday Night Football. It was against the defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and against Pat Mahomes. Well, let's be honest. If you go by the stats, he outplayed Mahomes, but Mahomes and the Chiefs still won. We'll talk about how that happened in just a minute. But can Zach Wilson, with that performance, even in the loss, can they save the season?
See, you don't want recency bias to show off because obviously we've had 3 weeks of Zach Wilson being Zach Wilson essentially. But that was amazing. Like he really stepped up to the plate and showed that hey, don't give up on me left because you've got all these media people, all these past NFL like Joe Namath, Broadway Joe saying he's trash, he's garbage. They obviously signed Trevor Simeon, which is everyone just assumed once Trevor Simeon has read the playbook, it's going to be Zach Wilson's replacement. But he went out and showed that he can actually play the game and do it well, relatively well. And obviously, he did have, I think it was a bad interception right at the end of the game, if I remember.
It
He
was a fumbled shuttle
fumble.
snap.
Yeah, that's it. It was a fumble, and which sucks and shows. But no one is leaving this game and saying they lost because of Zach Wilson. They're like, the only reason he's in the game, they were in that game, was because of Zach Wilson, which is really good. And you got the obviously this, I think this is the first time Aaron Rodgers was actually in the stadium
Yes.
to sort of show his support, and maybe that's what Zach needed. Just needed that mentor and that person on the sidelines just be like, okay, do this next. You know what I mean? Just sort of guide him a bit more. And obviously, the even though he lost the game, he had Cobb and Lazard like console him, being like, "No, no, man, this isn't on you. This is sort of on everything else." And hopefully, that just builds his confidence back up because, like, you've had 3 weeks of the entire media and most of the NFL just bringing you down. So hopefully, this is a confidence boost that he needed because I think he showed the team that he's willing to go out there and put everything on the table and almost beat the defending Super Bowl champions. And it just shows like this game doesn't help with the whole NFL being scripted sort of take. Like, come on. Like, especially since you see like the 11-second hold or Sauce Gardner, I think it was Sauce Gardner, the moment he got the interception is when the flag was thrown and stuff like that.
Right. It's
It
weird how
doesn't help that
a lot of
narrative.
things, man. I got a hot take on that for another day on my channel. But
Ooh.
a lot to do with Taylor Swift, man. Those ratings, man. This is I'm just it was something crazy about that game. But I'll tell you what though. Um, oh my God. I mean, about Zach Wilson. How do I really feel about this? I'm like every dog has their day, right? He is still a professional
Yeah.
quarterback. My only thing is, can he be consistent? I would really hate for him to have this performance and then just lay an egg the next game. I mean, lay a big turd. I would hate that. I hope that this is a crescendo of success for Zach Wilson. We're gonna find out. Did this? I guess Denver. They play the Broncos. So I mean,
Oh, he's going to have a great game.
yeah, if you want to get the ball continue rolling, I would hate them to lay an egg against the Broncos, though. So we're gonna
Oh,
find
God.
out. But so I won't say,
Yeah.
can he stay the season? Yes, he can. Will he though? I doubt it because I really have to see it to believe it has to be consistent on his part. And right now, I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
that far and say, oh, he's the savior. And I tell you what though, the Jets don't go they don't have any success without Zach Wilson's being a decent quarterback. Because if you can play like this
No, of course.
against anybody else, because you have Pat Mahomes on the other side, Travis Kelsey, although they didn't play their best games, they're still that team. And that defense from New York, you saw what they did, especially in that second half. They're going to bring that every single game. It's going to be on Zach Wilson. Now, it won't be every game that you're down 17 nothing because the Chiefs are that good on offense, right? They're down 17 nothing and it kind of changed the dynamic of the game, but still, um, it's gonna fall to Zach Wilson, and I hope he can do it. I'm always rooting for someone's success. I just don't see it right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. You do need that ball rolling, but because you have these QBs that have one amazing game, and people are like, oh, maybe he's back, and then they suck for the rest of the season. And Justin Fields might have had that game against the Broncos because he looked good against the Broncos defense. But I think that just shows how terrible the Broncos defense is.
And you
Like
just stole the words right out of my freaking mouth. I'm like, this
that, like
Broncos defense.
yeah,
To say that was their core strength coming into this year,
yeah,
I can't see it, man. I can't see it. I
yeah.
was like, what the heck happened to them? To the Broncos.
So I think it is the next game is his perfect game to build his confidence a bit more, simply because that defense is so terrible. It gives him that chance to, well, uh, yeah, just to build the confidence and the faith he has in himself because he needs that. Like if I touche to put on a game like that after having everyone like just hate on you for 4 weeks. And essentially the team giving up
Facts,
because I
facts.
definitely felt like a lot of team gave up.
Well, let's go to the bad, y'all. So we broke down the good and we broke down Zach Wilson. If you guys want to see that, man, go back and check it out. Let's go to the bad now. And let's start off with Pittsburgh and Houston. And when I say the bad, we're talking to Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, y'all, don't ever listen to my locks ever again, y'all. I don't know what the fudge cake happened. The Houston Texans. What is the bad? So let's say the Pittsburgh Steelers lose by a score of
Yeah.
30-6. And some folks saw this coming. To my surprise, they saw. I didn't look. I saw a great battle. I saw a contested game. I saw a tight game, a defensive battle, and I saw if the Texans won, it could be by the playmaking ability of C.J. Stroud. I did not see an ass kicking coming, TJ. Um, does this are the Steelers that bad, or are the
I
Texans that good?
I believe the Steelers' offense is that bad. I just don't know what happened to their defense because the defense has always been the strength of Pittsburgh, and it was like okay, like they're going against a rookie and an offense that was blooming, but they still had T.J. Watt, who was defensive player of the year, not just 2 years ago, and they have all these upstars like Mika Fitzpatrick. But like, oh my goodness, to lose by 30? Just like CJ Stroud every week has been getting better and better and better. And this game is where it all just came together and he just was like, it was just amazing. He built the chemistry with his receivers and that built up. And yeah, we always wanted to see them go against a good defense. And this was a good defense. And he did that. So touche to him. Like, it's going to be offensive rookie of the year will either be between CJ Stroud, A-Chain, which from the Dolphins, or that Uchi guy from the Rams, which I'll never remember how to say his name.
Puka. That's all I know.
Puka. Yeah,
Yeah,
Puka. Yeah, who's obviously on pace for a historic. Yeah, but like CJ Stroud is impressive, and I think he's sort of proving that he should have been the number one pick overall. Because it was between him and Bryce Young. Obviously, the Panthers took Bryce Young, and they're a bit of a mess right now. But wow, I was just completely blown away. I didn't watch a lot of these games because I was on the London Underground. So every time I got signal, it was just update the scores, and just seeing the score just pop off, I was like, "What is going on?"
right.
Because it was because the Steelers didn't score at all until like the third quarter, which was just
I mean, Pickett did get hurt in this game,
it was no 2 field goals. He
but
did get booze blown right in the fourth.
yeah, man, I tell you what, I am a believer in Stroud. I know I have a hot take that's gonna be wrong now because I did say there will be no offensive rookie of the year will be a quarterback. Right now, Stroud is gonna prove me dead wrong on that because if it's close between a quarterback and anybody else is going to the quarterback,
Yeah,
And right now, he's got this Texas team 2-2,
yeah,
right? And wins over
yeah.
decent teams. The Jaguars, the Steelers, those are decent teams in the NFL. And the
Mm-hmm.
Jaguars via on the road, right? And then Steelers at home. And I mean, it wasn't even close game. You're talking about they beat down the Jaguars
Yep.
and beat down the Steelers. Will I go as far as say, man, this Texas team could win the AFC South? I'll tell you what, I'm a believer in them being super competitive. I said that already.
Yeah.
Stroud is on pace to break all the rookie records for passing yards. Right now, he has the most passing yards in the first 4 games of his career, second to Cam Newton, believe it or not. Cam Newton's rookie year, he went out
Wow.
blazing. Cam Newton's rookie year, like his first 4 games, he had like 1,400 yards passing. It was crazy, like how Cam came out there. It was like phenomenal. Well, Stroud is on that kind of pace, and that's going to be rookie of the year numbers. No, barring injury, let's knock on some fake wood. But uh,
True.
I love this Texas squad and Nico Collins. Like he's a receiver that people are talking about, and the only way you talk about a receiver is if you have a quarterback throwing his way. And right now, it's proven that C.J.
Yep.
Stroud is that dude. And I said it. I agree with you. He should have been number one overall pick. I said that from the minute those guys declared for the draft, and I saw who was available. I said Stroud should have been number one for sure. I thought he was going number one to the Panthers. So, anyways, but it's neither here nor there. But a
Yeah.
big win over the Steelers. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the Texans are that good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
say
it's going to
I'm gonna
be
say
very
they're
interesting
I'm gonna
because
say they're
obviously,
get that good. I think the Steelers are gonna bounce back. They always bounce. They always start off kind of and ugly, and then they kind of crawl their way up. I think the Texans are that good. Not saying good enough to make it to a playoff, because the Steelers aren't good enough either to make the playoffs, but they're not bad
no,
enough to be a top five pick, right? So I don't know. I'm gonna say the Texans are that good right now. I love what I'm seeing from D'Amico Ryans and that squad, and they're playing hard, and they're playing not to just get by and compete. They're playing to win, and they've done that now
mm,
the last 2 weeks. I'm very excited to see how the rest of the season plays out for Houston. I mean, like if you see the records, the standings in the AFC South, everyone's 2-2.
yeah, everyone's two and
Everyone's
two.
two and two, which means after the first quarter of the year, toss up, because none of
It,
those 2-2s are like crazy impressive. Besides the
no,
Texans in there, but it's their standard, right? The Texas standard makes it so much cooler. So I'm with you though. Oh man, I mean, I love Stroud. I love this offense, and of course, Ryans will bring that defensive mentality to this Houston Texas team. So they got the right head coach. I know that. We got a
yeah,
Fondorama says I couldn't find you earlier, and then I got lost in the polished videos. Oh, we're here now, though. We are here now, Fondorama. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for showing love. Um, so let's continue with the bad. We broke down the Texans there beat down over the Steelers. It was ugly. Let's go with
yeah, weren't
we had
pretty.
a couple of 0-4, well 0-3 matchups, excuse me. We had a couple of 0-3 matchups, and not one, but two 0-3 matchups. Two teams won. The Broncos went ahead and got a dub over the Bears by the thin of their teeth, man. And the Vikings, they beat the Carolina Panthers in another ugly game. I think they won 21-13. Broncos and Bears were actually a good game, as the Broncos won 31-28. But who looked better in a win, the Broncos or the Vikings?
Oh, this is very interesting because um, the Broncos game had me a bit on edge,
Mhm.
simply because obviously I picked the Broncos as my lock,
Yes.
and like I said, didn't have a lot of signal, couldn't watch it underground. So when I saw the Bears were up, what, like 20, was it
28-7.
28-7? 28-7. I was a bit swearing a bit, come on, Broncos, you can't be that bad. And then they managed to roar back. So, um, but here's the thing I think the Vikings had a better win simply because they're trying to still compete, even though they're 1-3 now, aren't they? But everyone was shocked that they were still 0-4, or what still hadn't won a game. Where every other team that haven't won, like the Bears, the Broncos, was sort of compete already looking for the draft ahead. Even though Russell's been playing very well, I think it's pretty much over for him unless he plays amazingly for the rest of the season.
Hmm.
So the fact that the Broncos won, I think, has sort of screwed them over for getting their Caleb Williams. Whereas the Vikings, I think they're still trying to compete because, yeah, the Bears have won, so they're still third in their division. And if I remember correctly, they are technically one game behind the Packers, so they can still go for second. So there is still a sort of life in the Vikings, where I don't think the Broncos have that because obviously they've got to share the division with the Chiefs, the Chargers, even though the Chargers do Charger. Um,
And they almost did
they
Sunday.
almost did
Almost
again.
did.
They almost
Almost
did
did.
again.
Whew.
But yeah, the Vikings handled their business, and like Kirk Cousins didn't play well this game,
Oh
but they
no,
won. But they won.
they
So
won.
every game he's looked very well, they've lost. Every game he's played terribly, they've won. So maybe Kirk Cousins should just start playing terrible. Just
And here we have the not the luxury of having a show on Tuesdays, right? Where things change on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I was going with the mindset of I picked the Panthers because I thought that Andy Dalton was going to be the starter. If I knew
Oh
that,
yeah,
and here's where I'm going with the better win is by the Broncos, and here's why I think so. Because both Broncos and Bears believe, as crazy as it sounds, they believe they can change their seasons around. The Panthers,
do they?
well, they believe it. We don't believe it, but them as an organization, they believe it. They think we're competitive. We're a competitive team. As far as the Vikings, they also believe that. Obviously, they just went 13-4 last year. They know they
Yeah,
can compete. The Panthers, they're like, nah, we can't compete. We cannot. And for the Vikings to go into Carolina and lay a stinking egg and only win by 8 points, and Brian, I'm telling you right now, if Andy Dalton starts that game, Panthers win. Panthers win. Because the Vikings did nothing but shoot themselves in the foot the whole entire game. And it's crazy
that's
because
true.
you
That's
have
true.
Kirk Cousins and you have Jefferson, who, by the way, Jefferson still got his numbers. But Kirk Cousins, I mean, he kept that Panthers team in that game. And just because they're a slightly better team is why they won that football game. It looked ugly. I still have no trust or no faith in the Vikings right now,
Yeah,
even after that win. The Broncos, Ah, they look better because at least the mindsets for both these squads, right? Vikings on paper are just so much better than the Panthers.
which,
And
which,
and and
which is
and
fair.
and and,
But
and,
like,
and they got, and it was a close game and too close for comfort in my opinion. And they did not look good. They didn't show up for it. I'm gonna go to Broncos because one, their offense. You would think that their defense eventually, same guys from last year, you think that they would change things around, and it just hasn't happened. But the offense has looked a whole lot better. The offense has looked good. So I don't know. I I'm hoping that the Broncos can turn it around because it takes one victory for a crescendo. Oh, and we just lost my guy TJ for a second. Let's get him right back, you guys. Let's get him right back. He said we lost TJ. But that goes back to Bryce Young, though. It goes back to Bryce Young. I mean, do we have faith in Bryce Young? For one, I don't have any faith in Bryce Young, but for Bryce Young to be a starter for the Panthers and for the Vikings to still lay a massive egg in that game, gotta be disheartening in my opinion if you are a Vikings fan. Gotta be disheartening. I don't like what I saw from Minnesota. Not one freaking bit. But as far as the Broncos, yeah, you knew that going into Soldier Field, uh, both teams are super duper incredibly desperate, and the Broncos to win that game and to come back how they did it more. That was way more impressive. Down 28-7. That is about the most impressive thing I saw from those two games alone. So we're gonna get TJ back in the building in 1 second. I got him on here. Let's show him on the screen. Yo, Travis. Yeah, Peter says you're right, Travis. I gotta step in if I have to, says BJ. All right, we got him back on, y'all. But yeah, I was basically saying that I like the comeback by the Broncos because they could have folded. They could have folded, you guys, and it would have been like,
yeah, true,
damn,
true.
damn. If they lose that bad to the Bears, season is over with. But no, the moxie to come back, you know, albeit against Chicago. I like that. The Vikings just looked so super dull against a Panther squad with Bryce Young. If they beat a Panther squad with Dalton, yeah, I'm with that because Dalton showed this last week in Seattle, who by the way busted up the Giants. We'll talk about that in just a second, you guys.
Oof.
But yeah, so that's why I'm going with the Broncos. I think they look better than the Vikings, but I understand why you would go with Vikings as well, though.
Fair. I got a question then. Obviously, the Broncos. Russ is playing well. I admit, Russ is playing very well recently, and obviously it's their defense which is starting to let them down. So, it's say they're pick 5 in next year's draft. Do
Yes,
they go? Do they go with QB or do they
yes,
go with to sort their defense out?
because
Because it's
because because they're going QB, and here's why: because that's not Sean Payton's guy.
no.
No, it's not Sean Payton's guy.
Fair
That,
enough.
that
It's just that means. that's a lot of money to Russell Wilson for him just to, because he's got a lot still on his contract.
If they're top five and Wilson's their quarterback, and he's getting paid to make up for any deficiency in his team.
Hmm.
So that's why if he cannot make that up, then they either trade him to whoever, or you will go. I mean, because this is the draft to get quarterbacks. This is the quarterback friendly draft, and you don't want to pass this up. If they have a top five pick, and that means that Russell Wilson was the quarterback through all this ugliness, and we paid you to be a guy that no matter what can get us to that quote unquote promised land, right? So I think they go quarterback. I'm just saying.
Just fair enough.
But
Just an FYI,
go ahead.
like his contract's all the way up until 2028. They don't really have an out until 2026 because next year, if they got rid of him, his head cap will be
Oh
85
yeah.
million.
Oh, here's my
The year
thing.
after that would be 49.
Oof,
So
yeah. Here's my thing though. Like you don't have to start the number five or whoever the pick. You don't have to start him this year.
true,
He can
true,
play
true.
behind Russell Wilson for 1 year or 2 years, right? And that'll be like the perfect scenario. And then of course, if Russell via injury or just playing bad, then you can bring him in, and there's your built-in excuse to, maybe have a trade partner or to cut Wilson. I don't know, but I think obviously the first year you stick with Wilson the first year. Second
Fair.
year, you might bring in that guy, whoever that person may be, if the Broncos do have a top 5 to 10 pick and get a quarterback. But I think it's an easy fix. Yeah, you get the quarterback. You start. You sit him down, let him learn, develop between Russell Wilson, and here we go. The future.
Fair.
The
This
future.
contract is horrible, by the way. Cap hit this year is 22 million. Next year 35. Then it's 55, 58, 53, and 54. That's the cap hit. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, like they really paid him too early.
God dog it, man. Get your money, bro. Get your money, bro.
Hey, get money. But
Get your money, man.
wow,
I ain't
he's
mad at nobody
40
getting
years
money,
old
man.
when he'll be 41 years old when he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
Today, the way
So hopefully he retires.
the way the NFL is, man, guys are playing to their 45 now, man. Just like
Yeah,
it's so quote unquote soft. They can play to the freaking 45. Someone can play to the 50 and they cut in about 20 years. Someone can be
do you
50
really
years
think
old.
so?
Oh man, no, I'm lying about that. Ain't no way
I
in
was gonna
hell.
say.
Ain't no way in hell there's somebody 50 years old playing. I don't see that. Oh, come on, old
I
man.
was gonna, the one person who could retired this year at 45. So
Right. And we saw that Brady had his first losing season, 8 and 9. His last year, you could kind of tell he was kind of coming down too, because that Buccaneers offense, by the way, that looks better
yeah,
this year. Just the first 4 games they did last year with Brady. So you know, let's talk about our downright ugly, y'all. The downright freaking ugly. We had our Monday night game. This is kind of fresh off of what we've been we just saw it last night, y'all, and it was an ugly game. Let me go ahead and move this. Sorry, y'all. See if I can move this, y'all. But don't mind the it says Seahawks smash Giants 24-3. And I know I got it kind of weird, and I'm gonna fix it in a minute. But it says what to make of Dabble and Jones beef. Y'all, this game was crazy. It was crazy. When I talk about how Daniel Jones looked against this Seahawks team, he got battered, bruised, beaten down.
hmm,
And although it was only a 21-point game, this game was not close at all. Even if they had their
no,
little moments, this game was not close at all. And I am it was ugly to watch. That's why we call it downright ugly. You gotta feel bad for the New York Giants fan base, because that's now twice, TJ, this year where they've been back to back losses in the same stadium. Week one, first game was in first game with the Giants, got beat down, and then the first time
yep,
they actually won against the Bills, so that was nice. So, but they got to
oh,
experience
that's nice.
back to back days in the same stadium at night, which is crazy, right? But this time,
Yeah,
both teams took the L, but the Giants took a capital L. How about that? With quotation marks. This team, they're not good. And I thought last year that schedule was super easy. The NFC East. I mean, no discredit to the
No,
Eagles
that's fair. It's fair.
because the Eagles, they were still dominant, right?
Yeah.
They dominated who they played. As far as the Giants and the Commanders and even some of the Cowboys a little bit, you know, easy schedule, man. The Giants really took advantage of it because that team was not built to unless you had a bad schedule, but they're not good.
No.
Saquon Barkley is the whole entire team. Very unfortunate for Barkley. He's the entire team. But the Seahawks, what was it, 11 sacks, TJ? Or the 12?
Yeah, we've got it right here. It was 11 sacks they
11
allowed, and
sacks.
but this is the craziest part. The time of possession, the Giants won with 36 minutes over 24.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, precisely. The first down efficiency, the Giants had 17. They made more third downs. They made more fourth downs. They had more plays than the Seahawks. The only problem is, obviously, they allowed sacks. They had more punts, and they had 3 turnovers with 2 interceptions and 1 fumble lost. And the Seahawks defense did what they needed to do, and it ruined the Giants completely. And I feel sorry for Daniel Jones because he got hit 11 times. He like, I know he's awful, and yeah, but like getting hit 11 times, that's horrible. I can't imagine that, and that must
I
suck.
don't feel too bad for Dan Jones. My man still snuck his way to a 4-year deal, 100 for $60 million. Like how the?
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't feel that bad. I mean, take a nice
that's true.
ice
That's
bath.
true.
Take a nice ice bath
Yeah,
and count that money while you're doing it, I guess, man. But
yeah,
no, this game was horrible, and I have no faith in this Giants offense without Saquon Barkley. Barkley comes
no.
back in about 2 more weeks, and maybe they're changed. But we've seen it now. 2 home games, they've lost by combined was it 64 to 3,
I
right?
don't know because obviously
They
was it
lost.
in
That
was
was
it in Dallas
Dallas beat
where
them
they got
40-0.
whooped? Oh,
All right, and then you had the the Seahawks beat them 24-3.
yeah,
That's
so 60
64-3
for no,
at
yeah,
home, and then their only win, remind you, their
it's the
only win was
Cardinals.
a comeback of down 21 points to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
Think about that. This Giants team, not good. I'm
no,
sorry.
not good.
No playmakers outside of Saquon. Daniel Jones, he got lucky to be in the position that he's in because the Giants weren't sucky enough to get a top tier quarterback, and they were not good enough, to have super faith in Daniel Jones, right? They kind of were forced to get that guy that money, which, in my opinion, I said it before, I'm gonna say it again, he didn't deserve it. But I'm not gonna
No,
take away no one's money. I mean, get your money, young man, get your money. But he didn't deserve that. That's more of a franchise kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like if we don't have Daniel Jones, then who do we have? Like, and I'm like, well, there's some folks out there. I mean, there's somebody out there, but I would have took my loss with Daniel Jones and rode the wave with somebody else for at least a year, and then go get your guy, have a bridge quarterback, maybe a Teddy Bridgewater, pun
yeah,
intended. But and someone like that was out there available to be a bridge quarterback. Even Tyrod Taylor, who's on the team right now, albeit though he's always hurt. Um, but yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing from Daniel Jones. I don't like now. What do you think about the incident between Dable and Jones? The fact that while Jones threw that interception in the goal line area, and then Dable says, "Yo, what the fudge cake were you looking at?" As he's saying that, Jones ignores him, walks straight to the bench like, "Yeah, whatever, bro, whatever," and then backdoor.
oh,
Uh, After the commercial break, my man's had the tablet and he's pointing at Jones. He said, "Here's what I saw. What did you see?" Jones
yeah.
said something under his breath, and Dable threw the tablet on the bench, pissed off.
Oh, it's not good, is it? It really isn't good. And like, if the QB and the coach don't work together, like the situation, they are screwed because I think the Giants would rather keep the coach over the QB. simply because I think you're right. They should have just let Jones walk, suck with 1 year with a bridge QB, instead of giving him this contract. Because again, they're screwed all the way up until 2026. Like they've got a cap hit of 15 this year, 47 next year, 41 next year after, then 58 the year after. So yeah, precisely. So even if they draft a rookie QB this year, they're still paying him a lot of money,
Same
which is
thing with
hey,
Russell Wilson. I mean, you draft your
yeah,
guy, have him sit behind Daniel Jones, and eventually that kid might get the start, but then you might have the most expensive backup quarterback.
yeah. Well,
as
I
far as
think
as far as Russell Wilson, it's going to take a lot, like a collapse from Russell himself, to get that guy behind him to start. As far as Daniel Jones, we've seen him collapse, not just this year, but years in past too. So yeah.
and they might draft someone this year, have him sit behind Daniel Jones next year, and then cut him. If they do cut him, it's the dead cap of 22 million. So there's been worse. Like
Yes, you're
Matt
right.
Ryan was 40 million, so they might accept that. But yeah, that's not good. You don't want your coach and your QB butting heads, especially in a game like that at home.
Yeah, that
Um,
I didn't like that from the coach though. I didn't like that. I said
no,
on my stream as well. I say, not your quarterback, not your quarterback, right? Because your quarterback's supposed to be your leader, and
yeah,
and, and
yeah,
and I hate to see him attacking Jones like that in a public manner. Do it privately. Have your your rah rah confrontation behind closed doors. You don't do it. Your boneheaded linebacker, your crazy offensive lineman. That's fine. Those guys can kind of take that, and the team says, "Oh well, it is what it is." Your quarterback, though, who's gonna get the blunt of everything, and you chastise him, and rightfully so. Let's be real; it was rightfully so to do that, but not the right
yeah.
time, not the right image, in my opinion. I don't like that.
No, I get it. But if emotions are high,
Yeah,
frustration's going to roam. Like at that point, you're not thinking there's a camera staring at me. That's like I need to get through to the guy who's like damaging the game. Like I need him to see what I see and why I wanted him to do that play. And obviously, if Daniel Jones isn't reception to that because he's been hit 11 times, um, your frustration will leak out into throwing the tablet. So I understand it's a bad look, and I understand you don't want to do that. And even Sala has been supported of Wilson
right.
in the public. So,
Hmm.
but I don't blame him because the Giants are in that frustrated situation where they did so well last year and they were trying to repeat it. And they even got Darren Waller and all these like things to
Right.
help Darren Jones. I know their O line is trash, but it's just things that should be working aren't, and the frustration would be leaked through. And hey, if they've managed to control it, good for them. Like, well done. They're a lot more in the control of their emotions than I think I would be. But I don't truly blame them.
Peter says the Giants trash, y'all. Let's move on.
Yeah.
They're trash. All right. Well, we'll move on because Peter said they just trash. Let's go with our what the fudge cake moment of week 4. I'll go first. Hopefully we don't have the same one. My what the fudge cake moment is the Bengals. What the
Oh,
fudge cake is going on with Cincinnati? This doesn't make any sense to me. Uh, I picked them to beat the Titans. I felt like this was we had our wake up call. We had our wake up call, and we were getting going. And here's my thing: a lot of folks were harping on Lamar Jackson last year. He had that calf injury. And we all thought maybe he was faking it because of the talks of contract discussions, and he didn't want to play anymore. But now I'm looking at Joe Burrow has that same injury, and he's playing
mhm.
and looking Charles Barkley terrible. He looks
Yeah.
horrible in this Bengals squad. Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and all of I think Higgins was out. I think this game, or he might have gotten out during the game. I can't remember. But you have these players and you have this team who's been to back-to-back AFC championships, and they look pathetic. Even the win they got against the Rams on Monday night wasn't all that. besides their defense sacking Matt Ryan about 6 times. But I mean, I thought this would be the game to really prove that you were back, and no, now they've only added more questions to, is this team even good, or do they need to sit Joe Burrow a couple of weeks? Now, if you do that, I mean, good luck with your backup QB in that team. But you might add as a couple more losses that you're going to take. But looking at it, they look lethargic. They look like they have the like they're the Super Bowl champions. We had the hangover. Like, bro, no, like you guys should be hungry. You should be hungry. Jamar Chase said, "Hey man, I'm always open." Well, I can't tell because you ain't getting the ball. And as far as I'm concerned, the last couple of years, Joe Burrow has found you open a lot. So obviously you're not open all the time, man. I don't know what's going on with this Bengals squad. They're 1-3. The Titans, who have been lethargic on offense all freaking year, they put up 27 points. Derrick Henry came back to life. Tannehill looked decent as a
Yeah.
quarterback. Bengals 1-3, and thank goodness it's still early, and thank goodness no one has, even the Ravens at 3-1 don't look like a dominant team as of right now. But I feel like, and the Browns being at 2-2, they're like, I'm not gonna say head and shoulders, but they're kind of like shoulders above the Bengals right now. Oh,
Yeah, and
I said Matt Ryan. I'm sorry. I meant Matthew Stafford. Freaking TJ had said Matt Ryan earlier about his 40 million cap hit, so I had Matt
yeah.
Ryan on my mind. I meant Matthew Stafford, y'all. Sorry about that. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, and yeah, we have the same brain because that was also my what the fudge cake moment. It's the Bengals. It's they had so much potential, and like I said, Super Bowl AFC Championship game. It should be the same, and then obviously the injury in. No one suspected the injury to happen in the off season to be as drastic as it has been, but it is. They've rushed them back too early, and it's just dragged it out. At this point, they need to pull like just be like, okay, we are sucking, like, and this isn't helping Joe Burrow. Let him pull him out, rest him, get the backup QB because we saw what happened with Baker Mayfield when he tried to play through an injury. He sucked, it tanked, and it just hurt everything. So obviously they're trying to get the last year out when obviously you've got a lot of people on their rookie QBs like Jamar Chase. Obviously Joe Burrow's cap hit hasn't really kicked in yet and all those kind of stuff. So I see what they're trying to do. But if your main leader is injured and essentially can't play, then don't risk the injury. He is your future guy. Lose this year to give you more years in the future, if you know what I mean. Because if he goes out and gets injured, even worse than injured, then you might lose years on him, and you don't want to lose on Burrow, Joe Shiesty, because he is a great QB. We've seen what he can be in the past. So obviously he's not like that. Everyone assumes it's the injury, even though they're not saying it's the injury. Um, Either it has to be, if not something seriously else, something serious is broken. But the fact that I didn't pick the Titans and I have been picking the Titans, it is the situation. I don't pick the Titans; they do well. I do pick the Titans; they suck. And Ryan Tannehill, I don't think looked particularly good. Obviously, he threw an INT and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
he looked
but
decent. Just
he looked decent. That's what they
decent.
need Tannehill to be. And obviously, Derrick
Yes.
Henry roll back the clock, throwing touchdowns, running touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
222, 227 rushing yards for the Titans, 400 total yards. Oh, sorry, 227 passing, 173 rushing. Like that's what we expect the Titans to be.
Nasty, nasty. Yeah. I mean, that's what we expect the
Yeah,
Titans, to be this kind of team. I don't know though.
but
Those Bengals,
139 passing. It's just no.
those
That's
Bengals.
not Joe.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It feels like this is not the team that we've accustomed to see over the last 3 years now, since Burrow's been starting quarterback. So I'm hoping that they get their stuff together, and because they need it quick, because in the AFC you got about a 2-3 week window for starting this week. If you can't get it done, man, you'll find yourself 1-4, 1-5, and oh lord, it's tough to get back
That's not what
from
you want.
that. But they're gonna hope that the rest of the division kind of has a collapse and keep it close. That's their hope right now, because man, it's gonna be tough. Uh, we'll see. All right, y'all. So that was our what the fudge cake moment. We broke down the Bengals and their struggles to start off this season. Like I said, we did not see that coming. But uh, now it's time to go for our Week 5 picks and
Let's
predictions.
go.
I know everyone's ready for this. I am as well, you guys. It's gonna start off with a bun banner.
Oh,
Thursday night football, y'all. This is a game I will not be calling. I am definitely going to call a baseball game on Thursday. Yes, I confirmed it last night. I'm not calling this game Bears. And first of all, screw Amazon, Prime Amazon. It sucks. It sucks. It just sucks. The whole program sucks. Some folks get a good screen. Folks like me, I have never had a good screen with these fools yet, man. Ugh. Anyways, our first game, Thursday Night Football, the Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll let you go first, my friend.
Oh my God! All right. Thursday nights are always crazy. We can both agree on that.
Yep.
Thursday nights, you just never know what you're gonna get because I'm not the biggest. I'm not a fan at all of Thursday night football. Never have been. Never will be. I feel like teams already struggle on like 6 days of notice. Did it fall in the water? Hold on, y'all. Who?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about my daughter. Oh my goodness,
That's all
man. Just put it right here. Thank you. I'm gonna kick his butt. Close it.
right. Oh, God.
Drop it.
Someone in trouble?
Yeah, drop the controller in the dang on water.
Oh, that's expensive.
That's my son. He did that. Anyways, but back to this reality. So Chicago versus Washington. Thursday night footballs have not been good at all. They suck.
No.
Let's be real. They are crappy. I hate it. And bad. Good teams play bad on Thursday night football. So now we got two bad teams. Remember that Broncos and Colts last year? Like we had a lot of those kind of games, right? Well, this year Bears, Washington. Let's get to it. I'm going with the Commanders. I
Oh, yeah.
think I'm going Commanders. I feel like the Commanders. They at home. Last time they were at home, they got beat by 33 points, but that was against the Bills. Chicago's not that squad. I think the crowd will get them. I'm look, who's gonna be affected more on a bad thing, on a bad vibe, on a Thursday night football game? I'm gonna go with the Bears be affected. Like both teams are gonna come out there trash, so I'm gonna go with Washington. I think the defense, Young and them will get at it. I have no doubt that they'll make it tough on fields, and we're gonna find out. I got the Commanders. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. The Commanders, they're a lot better than what I thought. Like obviously coming in, maybe it's because they played a division rival and they played up to Philadelphia, but where obviously they got their ass whooped by the Bills. But the Bears are utterly poverty this year, utterly poverty. And if they may, it's just their defense will be able to handle the Bears. I feel like, especially if they semi handle the Eagles. And Washington, I don't see the Bears defense handling Scary Terry, Dobbs, or Kurt Samuel, all that kind of stuff. And Sam Howell's got a bit of legs to him, so he can also run from themselves. And he played very well. He surprised me of how well he played. Like there was a point where he was pretty much being sacked. He was going backwards. He threw the ball, and he got it to Scary Terry. Like Scary Terry, unfortunately, but fortunately for me, wasn't in bounds, so the ball didn't count. I don't know if you saw that, but my safety, Reed Blankenship, the undrafted player from last year, essentially put his arm underneath Scary Terry's leg. So it went on his arm and then out of bounds. So that must have hurt.
Hey, he did it for the team, baby.
He did it for the team. I love Reed Blankenship, the ghost.
Eagles
yeah, so that sort of saved our game. But so I think the Commanders are a lot better than what I thought, and I think a lot of people did, especially after that Bills game. And the Bears, I think, are just right. Time to blow it all up. I don't know if Eberflus.
I don't know. It last me the Bears head coach.
Yeah, I don't think he's surviving this season. I don't think Fields ain't surviving this season. I don't. Yeah, it's time to blow it up because I think their coach was meant to be defensive minded, and their defense ain't good.
Yeah,
Like,
they've always had the last couple of years. I mean, all of the Bears' history, they've always had a good defense,
yeah,
pretty much like trash offenses, but they've always had a really good defense to, suffice that. But man, not right now. This year, they're giving up bombs after bombs, big play to big play, and
yeah,
that's not going to do nothing but hurt Justin Fields and company. So
yeah. Do you want to hear a weird fact?
yes, sir. I love weird facts.
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II died on our birthday, September the 8th, and she has missed 2 Bears wins. That's it. She's only missed
Man,
2 Bears
them
wins.
them fools ain't win since October of 2022, right?
Something like that, yeah. She's
Oh
only missed
my
2 of their wins.
God, Lord! Can the Bears win a game, y'all? It's been man, it's gonna be almost a whole year.
Pretty much soon it will be a
God,
whole year that they haven't
yeah,
won a game.
they better get together, right? Oh my goodness! All right, so we both agreed the Commanders will go ahead and take care of that. All right, let's get through this now. We have our second London game of the year. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars, quote unquote, at the Buffalo Bills. Although it's probably gonna be pro Jacksonville, maybe. But Buffalo.
It's classed as a Jacksonville home game.
Is it a Jacksonville home game? I thought it was.
It's a Jacksonville. Yeah, I've got a Bills at Jags, I think, here, but it's not the stadium they normally play in.
Okay,
They
okay,
normally play
okay.
in Wembley, and
Yeah.
they're playing at Tottenham this year. So this game, which is very interesting.
Well, I'll let you
Oh
go
no,
first.
maybe it's not. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm on Google,
No,
and it might be backwards. I don't know.
yeah. It's a Bills home game.
I apologise.
Yeah, no, you good. It's a Bills home game, but I think it's gonna be the Jaguar fans are they're London style. They love London. They love the Jaguars in London, and it was cool. First time you got back-to-back weeks now, so the Jaguars
Hmm.
actually stayed here like it was a home game, like they lived there. You know, they stayed a whole extra week. Yeah, we got back-to-back home games pretty much.
Uh,
It sucks for the Bills though. They have to travel, while the Jaguars are like
yeah,
just kind of chilling.
just chill. It is literally just a testing out. Like, can they survive a
Yes.
week in London?
Hey man, the food man. Hold on, bro. My brother got
They're
to
out.
eat,
They're out.
man. I lost like 15 pounds this week, man. Come on, man. Can you imagine big old linemen? Them old linemen, they need some food, man.
Do you think that's the reason why they're not playing in Wembley? Is because Wembley is still too much like a Jacksonville home game? Because they always play in Wembley. Like, their owner tried to buy Wembley Stadium, so they've got, we have to make you play in Tottenham because it's not a home game for you.
Yeah, I imagine that's why they're not in Wembley. I imagine that. I imagine they're in the stadium because it's a Bills home game, and yeah, so
Yeah.
I can imagine that. I get that. But I've always been before I get off the topic a little bit. I don't like when there's teams that have a really good fan base. The Bills, even the Saints, the last couple of years have played in London for home games, right? Taking one of our home games away to go play in London. I thought it was either for like crappy teams or crappy fan bases, a la the Jaguars. That's why the Jaguars are always out there because of their financial issues with their own stadium. That's why they always go to London because it costs more. I mean, it brings them more money to play in London. You know. But anyways, I thought they would go to teams that have a bad fan base that don't show up, a la the Chargers, right? When's the last time the Chargers played? Just before the before the SoFi Stadium, before that, where they just no one showed up to the things. I don't know. It's just weird. I just off topic on that, but yeah, I'll let you go first. What you got, man? Jaguars or the Bills, brother?
I'm going to have Buffalo. Like, Jacksonville has sort of had a couple bounce back games, obviously last week and this week, and Trevor looked good. Like, I could say personally, he looked good. And the Falcons just didn't. But I think the Buffalo are just on a roll, and they're going to try and keep that momentum. But who knows? The travel might get to them, and obviously it is literally a foreign country, so the jet lag might be a struggle, like bring them a bit down to Jacksonville level. But I feel like Buffalo, if they've got Josh Allen, if they've got Gabe Davis, if they've got Stephon Diggs, they should be fine and they should be okay. Travis has just asked me a question. What are the speaking of London, what is your parking lot festive likes before a football game? Is there much tailgating? Well, London, no one drives to these games really at all. There's no real sort of parking lot tailgate. It's you catch the London Underground because London has an ultra low emission zone, which is if you don't have a car like that, it's a flat charge of £21, and then depending on how close you go into London, you get congestion charges, which it can go up to like 50 quid. So it's expensive to drive in London, and London is the worst place I've ever driven in. So no one tail, no one tailgates in London at all. It's just drive there. There's pubs. There's a couple bar bites and just food and alcohol. So that's where the festive is. But it's just a lot of queuing and very expensive beer. So that's what it's like. Yeah, I've got the Buffaloes. This one. Okay. Yeah, very expensive. £7. £7,
I don't know
which
that.
is about 10.
Oh, about $10.
It's about $10 for a Bud Light.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord! $10 for a
Yeah.
Bud Light. Ugh.
Yeah, precisely. Ridiculous.
I can't even stomach, man. There's some spots that I've seen spots like $12 for a Bud Light. So, and,
What?
Yeah, man. We're in Chicago, on vacation and went to the restaurant. And yeah, it was like for Dos Equis it was like $11, or like $12, $13 for like a Dos Equis, and like
Yep.
$10 for Bud Light, something like that. So yeah, I'm going to Bills too.
Yeah.
I'm going Bills as well. Now, you're right. Oh, jet lag could play an issue. Maybe
Mhm.
unfamiliar territories where the Jaguars have done this numerous times. But honestly, once they get in that football field, I think back to basics, back to normalcy. I got the Bills just because of their firepower and offense. The Jaguars have it's been tough sledding scoring so far this year for Jaguars. Albeit they can get yardage all day, but when they get in the red zone, they don't come with touchdowns. It's field goals, and you cannot do that against Buffalo. I think Buffalo is against the Jaguars defense, who's really good, but they're not like this awesome dynamic defense as it is. I think Buffalo will score at least 27 in this game. Can the Jaguars keep up? I don't think so. I'm going Buffalo Bills as well.
No, yeah, fair enough. I completely agree. It's going to be interesting if the Jacksonville can keep it close and maybe they've corrected their mistakes from earlier in the season and they're on the way up. But I think Buffalo's going to walk
Yeah.
over this.
So we got our next game on the docket, you guys. It's going to be my New Orleans Saints at the New England Patriots. And I'm gonna go first on this one, man. Yeah,
Of course.
I'm going Patriots.
You got to go
I'm
Patriots.
going Patriots. I mean, have you seen New Orleans in our offense? We can't score against a varsity team right now. In New England, I feel like the Patriots, they're gonna muck it up. We can't handle. I know that Judon is out. I know that, and
Yeah.
Christian is out as well. Gonzalez, he's out.
Gonzalez.
But
Yep.
let's be honest. Every game the Saints have played, there have been major injuries on the opposing team, and we just don't show. Our offense has been atrocious. TJ, it's we can't score, and I can't imagine going into New England and scoring over 20 points. Right? We can't do that against no one. We didn't score a single touchdown this week. 3 field goals, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Where does the scoring come from? Belichick is one of the greatest defensive minds. Mac Jones, although albeit he's just not good, but let's be honest, he can as long as the Patriots can score 10 to 13 points, this Saints squad, unless they can change things drastically, and I don't know yet because there's been a lot of talk about Dennis Allen saying we're not going to change our OC. We're not going to mix things up. We're going to keep Pete Carmichael. I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan. Nah,
Yeah, that seems like a mistake.
not a fan of it, man. Ben calls me a sellout, man. Hey, this is uneducated sports talk, not uneducated Saints talk. I can pick against New Orleans. I'm going for New England. I think New England's gonna win this game. Although I'm rooting for the Saints to win, obviously, but I don't see how we go into that stadium. It's gonna be an ugly game because Mac Jones sucks too. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Mac Jones sucks, but even with Derek Carr, we can't. We paying this guy 160 million, 150 million, and he's just not been that guy. Our O line has not been that good. Our play calling has not been that good. No creativity. Our defense, when we needed them most, they all of a sudden they're kind of stalling off now. Third down conversions have been just Baker Mayfield treated us like we were freaking Texas Longhorns, and he's the Oklahoma. Like third down conversions. I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure over 80% are the over 80% third down conversions for first downs. It didn't matter if it was 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 1. It didn't matter. They were converting. And
I'm just gonna.
right now, I gotta see it to believe it. I trust the Patriots more than I trust the Saints in this game.
Interesting, because I got the Saints over this game simply because I'm like, yeah, both your offenses are trash. Like, I'm sorry, like maybe Derek Carr came back a bit too early, because obviously he was injured, spraining his
But
shoulder.
I saw no issue with his shoulder. He had no issue.
No,
No issue at all. Yeah.
fair enough,
I
fair
saw
enough.
no issue with his shoulder.
So it is the defense, and I think the
It's the play
injury
calling. It's play calling.
is the play calling.
Boy, play calling. It's very timid. Ugh. I can't explain it. It sucks.
Fair, and which is fair, which is fair. But New England suffered their worst loss ever under the Bill Belichick era last week, so maybe he does come out a bit hungry. But I don't trust their offense at all. I think this game could be just the field goal off, like whoever scores the most field goals. Like, so whose kicker's better? But I think your defense currently is slightly healthier. Like, if Judon and Gonzalez didn't go out, I would choose New England. But losing Judon and Gonzalez is a massive hit to that defense, like especially Judon. So I'm going to go with you simply because I think your defense can hold Mac Jones more in place than New England's secondary players can hold. Well, Derek Carr, he's not going to do well, but I feel like he can get a bit further down the field than what Mac Jones can. So I'm going to go with New Orleans
All
Saints.
right. My sister from the same misters in the building, Carolina Clayton, says, "What's the double screen about? I know I'm just jumping in, but pretty dope. Thank you, love." She said, "I like his accent. That's dope."
Oh, thank you,
He-
thank you.
He's from the UK. Yeah. So it's my guy, TJ Tracy. That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah,
But
I don't know what kind of British accent I've got. Is it posh or common? I don't
I don't even know.
know.
Real Fan Sports in the building, you guys. I will be on Real Fan Sports channel tomorrow night, y'all. Roughly around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So check me out on Real Fan Sports tomorrow with my guys Nonfiction and Zach. Man, so much love to them. I will be on their channel, y'all. So we'll have it posted for sure by tomorrow afternoon, y'all. So stay tuned for that, man. I got Thomas Fitzpatrick says hoping for New England win over the struggling Saints. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows at this point?
Ben Moss says, I do recall New Orleans beating Patriots bad when the Rams when Randy Moss played for the Patriots. Yeah, that was our Super Bowl year. Yes.
Oh god, yeah,
That was '09. Yeah, we were beating everybody that year. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
We
literally
beat.
a completely different team.
I went to that game. Monday Night
Oh,
Football '09.
that's
I was
cool.
there, man. We beat Tom Brady
That's
and
really
the
cool.
Patriots. It was awesome. Yeah. So, anyways, I was there, Ben. I know about it, man. All right, our next game on the docket. Let's go. We have two teams kind of going in different directions. We have the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. I'll let you go first, TJ.
Oh, it's Miami, right? Like they're going to be angry that they lost to the Bills. It's in Miami, and the Giants, they're not doing well. If there is that rift between the coach and the QB, that's not going to help. Um, they've got no O line, the Giants, so Bradley Chubb's going to feast. They've got like their corners aren't going to be able to cope with Tyreek Hill or Waddle. So this Miami might put up another 70.
Ooh.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
I'm going Miami as well. This is a no-brainer. You're right though. My thing is if you're a betting man, you see the spread, whatever it may be, just go with the minus. Go with the minus for Miami, man. I don't care if it's minus 14 and a half. Go with the minus. They're gonna win this game. I think by 3 touchdowns, um, for sure. And you're right though. This team is mad about what happened against Buffalo. What a way to take out their frustration against a very struggling New York Giants squad who don't know who the hell they are right now. So yeah, gonna go. I'm gonna go Miami as well as a kind of a a no brainer for us. And Miami should be at what 4-1 when it's all said and done. Giants at 1-4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
man. All right, let's go with another game in the docket. Our next game, the Carolina Panthers at the Detroit Lions. I don't know about to say Tigers. I was like, I'm thinking baseball. I said, they're not the Tigers, Carlos.
Yeah, not
Let's
the
get them out the
Tigers.
way. What's going on? All right. Sorry. Here we go. Bow.
Your
Yeah, so
turn.
here we go. I'm going to go with the Lions, obviously. If Bryce Young is starting, I'm definitely going with the Lions. I think the Lions going to look, their running game has been fantastic.
Yep.
David Montgomery, I always said it, this guy is the happiest man to leave Chicago. He was like, how can I shine when the quarterback is getting running back yards? Right? He is a whole lot better than I thought it was. Honestly, obviously it was the, playing for Chicago, and that's why he didn't get the recognition. So when he got traded to the Lions, he was in heaven because the way the Lions have utilized him and Gibbs, it's been beautiful right now. And obviously, Gibbs will get a lot more shine as the year goes on. But what he's been given early in his career, I love the thunder and lightning aspect of what the Lions are doing. And Dan Campbell, he wasn't playing no games. He knows he has a good offensive line. Their line is great in Detroit, and they are running. And when you run it that well, it puts a lot of pressure off of Jared Goff and that offense to throw the football. I'm going Lions and an easy win over the Panthers.
Yeah, I completely agree. You've got Carolina, which are trying to start, like trying to get their future going with Bryce Young, who's still a rookie, who's still learning. Frank Reich, for some reason, his play calling has been a bit iffy, if you know what I mean. It's just not been all there, which is concerning because I do like Frank Reich. But Detroit they're on a different level when it comes to team. They're trying to compete for playoffs and Super Bowls, where Carolina's not trying to get the first. Well, they can't have the number one overall pick because the Bears have their pick. So I think Detroit are going to go. I think Carolina's going to go into the Lions' den and be eaten. Like
Ooh,
that's
be
it.
eaten.
Yeah,
Lord.
be eaten.
Who's going to win, the Panther or the Lion? You got the Lion, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, because what was it? It's going to be Sticky Icky versus Adrian Hutchinson, and Sticky Icky ain't playing well at all.
Oh, yeah,
Like
you're right about that.
he's just been playing horrible. So Adrian Hutchinson, I think, might have a career game. Like
Yeah.
if he's
Might
going against
just.
that, yeah.
Might just, man. Yeah, so we both got the lines on that one. We have our next game now from the AFC South. We have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. So you got TJ.
Well, I want to say Titans, but I can't choose Titans. But then I can't. I have to choose Titans because either or, I'm gonna lose. So which team do I want to lose?
That's how it goes, man.
um, I'm gonna go Indy. I feel like yes, Tennessee had a good game last week. Like Derek Henry had a nice game, and obviously Tannehill had an okay game. But I feel like Indy. I think they almost beat the Rams.
Yes.
Um, they had a great comeback, but so I think Indy are playing a bit higher than what we thought. But Tennessee are still. They had a great game. This game, I reckon they're going to collapse, and I think they won't be able to deal with uh, Anthony Richardson's running game, and I think that's how they're going to win the game. They're just going to run Anthony Richardson when there's nothing open. Pardon me. So I reckon Indy's going to win this 21 to like 13. I
Okay.
reckon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going with the Titans.
Ooh,
This might be my first time picking Tennessee all year. I'm trying to think. Uh, God, dog it. Yeah, it's my. Hold on. They played the Saints first. I picked them. I picked the Saints. They
yeah.
played. I picked. No, I lied. It's my second time picking Tennessee. I picked them to beat the Chargers. Yeah. So, all right. So this is my second time picking Tennessee. We're going to Titans, y'all, to defeat the
Yeah.
Colts. I'm going to Tennessee in this game. I believe running game. This will be a Derrick Henry fiesta. I think Derrick Henry goes off in this game.
Yeah.
I got Derrick Henry going off. I'm gonna say 150. Yeah, he loves playing
Ooh.
in Indianapolis. He loves that turf, and I think they will run that football. And I think the Titans defense will come alive against Anthony Richardson, and their running game will not be there like they will want. Who knows? But obviously, ugly game, tight game. I'm gonna go with the Titans. I'm gonna say 20-16 Tennessee.
Fair, fair, fair. I did hear a report that apparently Jonathan Taylor might practice this week, but I don't know how true that is because obviously he's still on the PUP list. So I think this is his like assessment to get him off the PUP list.
Mm.
Um, but I don't know if he is off the P list. Is it because of it's a trade or is it because it's he's going to play? So be interesting.
All right, well, we got our next game on the docket, man. We're going to go with the Houston Texans at the Atlanta Falcons. This one is going to be a good one, I think, man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons, though. I'm going to go
Oh,
Atlanta in this game over Houston. I love what CeeDee Stroud is doing. This might be a great game in my opinion, as far as one of the better games of the year. I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I think the Falcons are in desperate mode. They kind of have to have this victory, in my opinion. If
yeah,
they don't get this victory, I mean, it's gonna be tough sledding because the Buccaneers are gonna be there and right now you're looking at your NFC wild card. I know it's still too early for that, but still, you don't want to be behind. And I feel like at home, you got to take advantage of this game. Albeit Houston has been the darling over the last two weeks now with great victories over the Jaguars and the Steelers. But I think Atlanta, that home crowd, I think the running game for Atlanta gets going, and they'll get this dub. And I'm gonna say they'll win probably like I'm gonna say 23-20, a very close game, very good game.
fair, fair. Yeah, I agree. Atlanta's going to win as well. I feel like this is going to be a bounce back game after their game in London. Um, Bijan was amazing. Like, yeah, he did very well. It was a bit annoying that they didn't keep going with Bijan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They tried to pass it. I understand they were behind, but like he throws a pick six and then they go straight back to throwing him. Oh, there's still confidence, and then pretty much throws straight away another interception. My mate I was with, he literally just turned around and said he's going to throw another pick six, and it almost was. It's just like he said it as soon as it happened. He said it into reality. So yeah, Ridder had a bad game over there, but he's going to be at home, and I think they're going to rely a bit more on Bijan.
Hmm.
And I don't think Houston's defense is ready for that yet. Like they're getting there, and obviously defensive-minded head coach. I think he is defensive-minded, isn't
Yeah,
he, their
he is at
coach?
D'Amico Ryans. Yep, the former Houston Texan.
Yeah, but it's going to be at home, and we've seen Ridder play well, and he just didn't play well against the Jags, but I think he will against Houston.
Yeah, I mean that's the first time they're going to London. You know,
Yeah,
so it's kind of those weird things where now they're at home, the confines of being in that stadium, and against the Texas squad, who did ball out against Jacksonville on the road. So
hmm
can they bring that same mentality? But yeah, we both going with the Falcons. All right, kind of a shocker. I thought you might go Houston on that bad boy.
I was tempted, but I purposely went recency biased. No,
Gotcha.
you can't. So yeah, I'm trying to stop that.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Our next game on the docket, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you got in this one, TJ?
I'm going to go with Baltimore, simply because Pittsburgh's offense is trash, and like it sucked against. I believe it was Houston, wasn't it? Houston. It sucked against Houston, and Baltimore's defense is 1,000 times better than Houston's, and they're going. I think this is going to be an utter slaughter. Pittsburgh's defense we thought was good. We thought it was really good, and then they let up 30 points against CJ Stroud. So this is divisional, so anything can happen. But I reckon Baltimore is going to have an amazing game. Lamar Jackson, I think, is going to have a great game. And yeah, I reckon this is going to be another like 7-28 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm also going with Baltimore as well. I think the Ravens win this one pretty easily. Kenny Pickett did get hurt in that game, but he's rumored to come
Yeah,
back for this game. Maybe if not, he'll miss 1 week. But if his backup is Mr. Trubisky, and that's not anything special, so I'm going to go with the Ravens to win this game pretty easy. You're right though, the defense of Baltimore suffocating. All being in Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter. Division rivals, you'll get the best of these both teams, and I think Ravens are just right now head and shoulders better than the Steelers with how things are looking. So got the Ravens in a blowout, and it's gonna get ugly.
yeah.
Might be something quick. It might be something quick. Might be something like close. I mean, not quick, close. Something
Oh,
close. I'm sorry. It might be something close in like the first quarter, but after that, I think the Ravens will just blow them out, man. And I think Lamar Jackson in that running game. I think the running game. So Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson have big running games today. On Sunday. So we'll see. Got the Ravens
yeah.
though, so we're both gonna tag team that. Let's go our next game on the docket, and we're gonna have from Arizona the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm gonna go first. Hey, I'm going with recency bias. Give me the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Give me the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going with Arizona to win this game. Uh, right now, they have surprised the crap out of me. Even their losses look good. And when you say, well, they lost a 28-7 lead, they still scored 28 points. We thought
Hey,
we thought
yeah.
they were nowhere near scoring that kind of stuff, right? So
Yep, they beat the
yeah, they
Cowboys.
beat the Cowboys. I'm like, yo, even week one they lost to the Commanders by 1 point. This team, they look good, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. They had that Wilson kid, the receiver number 14, who looks good. Zach Ertz seems to be back in shape, back in form
Oh,
as a
good old
good
Zach
tight end,
Ertz.
and so he's looking good for that team. Joshua Dobbs, do you know how smart this kid is? You know,
Hey, he's good.
we talked about it earlier. He is super smart. Like he's going
Yeah.
after his NFL career, he's gonna be some kind of like I don't know astrophysics, whatever. The dude is like 4.7 GPA smart. He's that smart, right? Anyways, but so what I'm saying is he had 2 weeks to prepare for this playbook. 2 weeks.
That's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you would think he's been there forever. You would think he's been there forever. How well he's playing. He's running at the right times. He knows when to run. He knows when to throw the ball while he's running. He knows when to slide, go out of bounds. His passing has looked awesome. This team looks so much better than I thought it would, man. I'm going with the Cardinals. The Bengals, I would say this is a game where the Bengals got to hoorah and win this, right? Because, you got to win this game. You don't want to go 1-4. But just the way they look lethargic and the way the Cardinals have looked so damn good so far. I'm going with Arizona. Really good game. Going with Arizona, really good game. And I'm going to say Arizona wins. I'm going to say 27. Give me 27-23 Arizona.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. And yeah, I also agree. It's just
We got Arizona.
like we don't know if T Higgins is going to play because of his injury, and like Joe Burrow just hasn't looked good. And if they realize running the ball against AZ is like it is their weakness, like if you run the ball well, they're not the best at it,
Right.
stopping the run. But I don't think Zach Taylor is gonna do that. I don't think he's just gonna keep with what worked in the past, which is making Joe Burrow throw. And I don't think it's gonna happen. We might be wrong with this one. I think this is if we were going to be wrong on a game, I think this is going to be
Yes, right.
this kind of game. But I agree. I think Arizona has shown that they are willing to punch people in the mouth, and it's going to be at their home.
Hmm.
And Cincinnati, I don't think is ready for a fight. So I think Arizona's going to take a dub here, which is crazy to think about that. Like if you said 4 weeks ago that Cincinnati might lose against Arizona, you will be laughed at. Would just be laughed at.
Jeez, I'd have thought you were crazy. I'd have sold my whole house and lost it. You're right, PJ. We'd have lost the house.
Yeah.
We'd have lost the damn. We'd have lost our home. You crazy, man. All right, yeah. So, crazy enough, we're both going with Arizona to win this game. It tells you how crazy this NFL season has been so far. Through only 4 games, we're picking the Cardinals to beat the back-to-back AFC representative. I'm not representatives, but AFC championship games representatives. Right, and all right, let's go to the next game. We got the Eagles at the Rams.
Ooh,
All
yeah.
right, I'll let you go first with this one, TJ.
Thank you very much. I'm still going to go with Philly. Like, I've got a feeling we are the Vikings of this year, if you know what I mean, where last year they were doing very well, but everyone sort of knew they weren't as good as their records show. I'm worried we're going to be like that. But last game, our offense started to get its engine going. You know, I mean, AJ Brown went off. We were like, yeah, we can sort of do this. Our defense sort of let us down. But against LA, I'm going to still go with Philly. I feel like hopefully our D line gets back to form and can get to Stafford because obviously his O line's not the best. Our O line, I think, will be able to hand up against their D line. And I don't know if Cooper Kupp is going to play. There was talks about him returning. I don't know if what the deadline is for him to come off IR. I think it's what, Thursday?
He's ready. He's ready to be part of the team again. Not play maybe, but he can practice now.
He
After
can
because
practice.
it's 4 weeks. IR is after the 4 weeks, so the first 4 weeks he missed. So he's
Yeah,
officially on the 3-man roster now.
got ya.
Five. Will he
Um,
play though? We don't know yet.
I don't know. Obviously, we lost Maddox, and I think last game showed how much that impacted our team because obviously we moved James Bradbury, who's an outside corner, to the nickel and had a second team undrafted player in Job who played very well. Like it wasn't like he was losing coverage. He was with the coverage, but they tested him and he was against Scary Terry and he was against Scary Terry. So I think we did sign. Oh my god, someone Boyd. Hold on, I've got to Google it for a second. We signed a nickel corner. To hopefully actually replace Maddox.
Okay.
He's quite old. He's 30 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but that allows us to Bradbury to go back to the outside. So that'll be, I assume, Slay following the rookie who's absolutely, shining like there's no tomorrow. Absolute mental. We have signed former Saints cornerback Bradley Roby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we signed him.
Oh man,
So
we just keep
is
feeding.
it?
We just keep feeding the Eagles, man. Just
Yeah, thank you very much. I take it he's good.
he's he's passable for sure.
He's very passable. That's
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
need.
very passable.
So
Yes.
I'm going to go with Philly, but
He's had
LA.
Okay.
After you, yeah, he's had some. What are you saying, sorry?
He has some really good years. Really good years. With New Orleans.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really good years. And he was more of a cap space kind of thing. That's why we let him go release them. More of a cap,
I see.
for cap, right? And we had Alontae Taylor, who looks good so far, replace him. So I mean.
Okay, fair enough. But thank you very much for releasing him.
You guys are always welcome, man. I'm going. This game was back and forth for me. I was like, man, and then I felt it. I said, you know what? I can't overthink this. Philadelphia is the better team. I think this is the game that Philadelphia's going to put everything together for the first time. I feel like offensively, defensively, they're going to come together and really put the clamps on the Rams. So yeah, I think it'll be an overall really good game for the Eagles in this one. So I'm going with the Eagles to win this one. I'm gonna say 30 to 20. 30 to 20
that'd be
sounds about
nice.
right to me. And I'm going there, but I was going back and forth because the Rams have shown some good promise.
Yeah, they're not pushing.
Matthew Stafford has looked about as good as he's been. when he has a clean pocket. Obviously, when he has a clean pocket, he looks really, really fantastic. Um, will the Eagles keep that pocket clean? No, I think they're gonna mess that pocket up. We saw where the Bengals got to Matthew Stafford, and
Mhm.
we saw how they were up 23-0 and blew that lead and almost lost again to the Colts. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I can't overthink this one. I think the Eagles are the better team. They'll win this one.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. Yeah, and hopefully so. Like, if we go 5-0 after losing to their like Super Bowl, that's good. Like Super Bowl hangover, no, thank you.
Amen to that. Our next game on the docket, the New York Jets take on the Denver Broncos. AFC matchup should be a good one because this game will determine seating for draft positioning. Probably. I don't know yet, but still, uh, Zach Wilson. Although they lost, I'm not really a big morals victory kind of guy at the loss. But I mean, that's a loss. You can kind of Jets fans can kind of have a sigh of relief, in my opinion,
Yeah.
a sigh of relief. And I'm gonna go with the Jets to win this game.
Oh,
I'm
really?
going the Jets to win this game. I feel like the Jets defense will be the reason why they win. The Jets defense, I think they'll get to Russell Wilson, and I'll look for Russell to have not a Russell Wilson like last couple games where he's throwing 300 yards, whatever, throwing these bombs. That Jets defense we saw in the second half against Chiefs, they are for real. They are for real, and I think they'll bring it into Denver, Mile High Stadium, and they will shut down the Broncos. Uh, and I think Zach Wilson, not necessarily, I won't say a great game, but he'll have a nice numbers kind of game, and as long as they keep the turnovers to a minimum or zero, the Jets are in great position to win this game. So because it'd be few and far between games that the Jets can win. I'm going the Jets over the Broncos.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And we talked about this a bit earlier. Like, if he wants to keep the momentum growing and the confidence growing, Denver is the perfect team to go against because they literally don't have a defense. There might as well be no players on the field because they are letting anyone walk through. And the Jets defense is good. Like, they held Pat Mahomes to 23 points, so I think they'll do very well against um, Russell Wilson, which sucks because obviously I do like Russ, and it does sort of suck that his career has nose dropped for the last two couple of years. But um, yeah, I think the New York Jets were going to build a bit more momentum with this win over Denver, and Denver's defense is going to prove again that they are the main weakness in Colorado. So
All right, we're both going with the Jets. All right, we have our next game on the docket. We have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Minnesota Vikings. Who you got, my brother?
I'm going to go with the Kansas City. Um, uh, like Minnesota have won their first game, fantastic, but they still didn't look good. Like Kirk Cousins looked terrible, and Kansas City, yeah, they won just. So I reckon they're going to have a bounce back game, even though they won, they're still going to have a bounce back game because they didn't play like Kansas City, which is weird. We don't know if Taylor Swift's going to be in this game, but I assume we'll find out very recently, very soon, because it's anything people talk about right now. It's even the NFL's Twitter banner, which is just come on. But I reckon Kansas. I know it's at Minnesota, but I think Kansas City is just going to walk in and be just like, look, okay, we let Giants sneak up onto us, but we're going to win here. So I'm going to go with Kansas City.
I got you. I'm going with the upset of the week. I'm going
Ooh.
Minnesota Vikings over the Chiefs, y'all. I just feel it in my gut. I don't have that big of a gut, but it's big enough though, to where I feel very confident to say I think the Vikings shocked the world just this one weekend. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I'm going both teams in the 30s. I'm going both teams in the 30s. I got the Vikings 33-30. I think it'll be a shootout, and I got look, every dog has his day every now and then. Every dog has his day, and I feel like the Chiefs are going to overlook this Viking squad in Minnesota. Crowd can go crazy. I think Kirk Cousins goes for dumb numbers.
Dumb numbers.
Dumb numbers. Kirk Cousins goes for like 340, something like that. Passing yards, 4 touchdowns, something like that. So yeah, I got that game going Vikings favor, but obviously me saying that they'll probably lose by 4 touchdowns. So it's how the cookie crumbles, man. But I'm going Minnesota. I feel like if not now, then never. No, you can't. You only have so many more home games. You already lost to the Buccaneers first game of the year at home. You don't want to lose this home game, and you got to take advantage of being at home, albeit against a really good Chiefs team. But I think that Kirk Cousins and the Vikings go off in this game, man, and I feel like it'll be a very good shootout. Uh, Obviously, Kansas City's the better team, but I think it's for
Yep.
one day only. I can see Minnesota putting up some major points in this game and winning this, getting out of here uh, by the chinny chin chin. So another one that we
Yeah, yeah.
defer on. We don't defer on many, but these what we
No,
call
no.
the swing games, right?
Yeah, I think
Very
it's
swing.
actually been quite diverse this week. We're actually quite a lot of different
Yeah,
opinions.
yeah, yeah. A few of those that we agreed on, I was kind of shocked. I said, I got them. And you're like, oh, you thinking like me, man?
Yeah, we're thinking like you. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, we have our Sunday night football matchup. Everyone's game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going Niners. I don't know why people making a big deal out of this. The 49ers right now have demolished the Cowboys every single time, whether it be postseason, regular season, in season, off season, don't matter, man. This Niners squad is good. From what I've seen from the Cowboys, not just against Arizona, but even against the Patriots at some moments.
Hmm.
Yes, they won by 35, but there are some moments where the Patriots had some good runs. Uh, I feel like the Niners are just at home. In Dallas, I might have had mixed feelings. At home, though, I think Niners take care of business. I'm not gonna say a blowout. I won't disrespect the Cowboys by saying blowout. But I feel like they'll win this game pretty handily, pretty easily. And
Fair.
I'm calling the Dak Prescott 2 interceptions in this game. I feel like the Niners that defense is gonna get the Dak Prescott and look for McCaffrey to have another crazy game. And I'm gonna say
Yeah.
all via receiving touchdowns.
Oh,
I think McCaffrey put him on the edge as a wide receiver type of playmaker, and I think they're gonna go berserk in this game with McCaffrey. He's been killing it all year. If you're talking about MVP right now, McCaffrey's probably number one. If you want to talk about MVP
fair.
votes, he's probably number one right now. But as what he's been playing, although at the end of the year he won't be it because that's a quarterback award. I get it. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like this Niners team right now. Offensively, defensively, they're dangerous, and at home they're gonna dominate because I mean the Niners are gonna feed off this Dallas Cowboys America's team talk. The Niners feel like, yo, we're the home team and we're the better team, and all we're gonna hear is what can the Cowboys do to win. That's
Yeah.
motivation for the San Francisco 49ers. They win this game over the Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Niners. I'm gonna be able to sort of beat the. I consider this as it's going to be the Niners offense versus the Dallas defense because if the Dallas defense can't do its thing, I don't trust Dallas's offense to be able to recover. So, and I think they will. I think Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy had a mental game last week.
Yeah,
I think he had one incompletion. The entire game, one incompletion.
he just good. I think it was two.
He's just yeah,
I think he went 22 for 24.
yeah, absolutely crazy. You don't hear a stat like that. So I reckon it's going to be the same, and which is good because obviously I want Dallas to lose. But that's also bad because I also want the Niners to lose because I think they are like if the Eagles are going to get far, it's going to be their biggest competition. But yeah, I reckon the defense will be able to pressure Dak Prescott into making the mistakes, and they won't be able to recover for or help their defense enough, allowing the San Francisco to run away with it. I think. Well, not run away. I reckon it'll be close for 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter is when the Niners start to pull away. because I think Dallas's defense will be a bit too gassed and tired. And last week, Parsons got a bit banged up. He obviously had to come off multiple times because I think his ankle or his knee, one or the other. But yeah, he got a bit banged up. So hopefully he's fine because obviously no wish on injury, but who knows? But hopefully Dallas lose this game and the Niners win.
There we go. So we're both going San Francisco on that one. And then we have our last one, our Monday night football game. We have the Green Bay Packers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Here we go, TJ. Who you got in that game, brother?
I'm going to go with Green Bay Packers. I know it's Vegas and it's at Vegas, but Josh McDaniels should be fired. Like, he's not good. He's not. Everyone knew he wasn't a good head coach from his days back in Denver. It's a miracle he got hired in Las Vegas. I don't know. I assume Jimmy G is going to play in this because it was concussion protocol. It wasn't like a major injury, so he might clear it because it's on Monday, so he's got more time. So it could be Jimmy G, and I don't trust Jimmy G, especially against the Green Bay's defense. Like, I know it struggled against the Lions, but they are suffering with injuries. Obviously, their defensive coach isn't the best, but I feel like they can handle Jimmy G pretty well. And yeah, I just don't feel like the play calling in Las Vegas is going to help them at all. And when it comes to the defensive side, Jordan Love didn't have a good game, like against the Lions. I reckon he will bounce back against the Vegas' defense, which again isn't the best.
I'm gonna go with Las Vegas in this game.
Ooh.
And I feel like every time I go to Vegas, they let me down. But I'm going with Vegas in this game. I feel like Vegas. First of all, it's Devontae Adams' first time playing against his Packers team.
True.
He's looking for revenge. Looking for revenge is going to be Adams. I feel like Adams is going to have a monster game. Garoppolo should be back in this game. If he's not, I'm still probably going to go with the Raiders anyways. Just because I think their offense, I mean their defense, Max Crosby against Jordan Love is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that. Max Crosby, he is just a motor kind of a player. But I mean, obviously the secondary for the Raiders it's not good. That secondary is horrible. But if they can put pressure on Jordan Love for a moment. But I feel like both teams are going to score. I feel like there'll be a lot of points scored in this game. Both teams in the mid-20s. I'm going to say maybe the Raiders 28 to 25 over the Packers, 20-24. I think it'll be one of those kind of games, a really good game in Vegas. But yeah, I like Raiders at home. Monday Night Football, Packers, albeit they struggled against the Lions, but I feel like Raiders are looking better than advertised. So I like them. If Garoppolo does come back, we'll find out. Non-50 says Las Vegas' last 3 games have been close, and they have lost by end zone interceptions. One of these games we gotta win. Yeah, man, gotta win those games. Yeah, I feel you on that. Said, turn your mic, you're really, really, really low. I apologize, man. I wish I could change it, but this is how it goes when I got share the screen with somebody right now. It just gets kind of weird and funky. So I apologize because everything is turned up to the max, but it's probably because I'm sharing, screen. I guess that's why it gets low for these particular streams. So I do apologize, you guys. But yeah, so that's it for our picks, you guys. Where did we go right? Where did we go wrong? Let us know. We'll let you guys know for episode 10. That's right, y'all. Next we will have episode number 10 already.
Madness.
Of Madness. That is 2.5 months of doing this. Crazy.
Ooh.
Crazy. All right, y'all. Let's get to our well, before we close it out, let's get to our locks. So I'm gonna go first. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. What is your record?
I'm 2-2. Well, I suck, man. You're 3-1. No, you're 3.
No, I'm undefeated.
You're 4-0. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're 4-0, and I'm 2-2, man. I suck, bro. I gotta get a dub, y'all.
Yeah.
Ben says, "Who did you pick, Los?" I picked the Raiders to win, but my lock for this week, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I gotta get it, man. I got to. I got to get a dub. And I hate to use the Ravens in this kind of game, but I got to get a dub, man. I got to get a dub. I'm 2 games behind you right now. I got to get a dub. So we're going with the Ravens uh, to win this one over the Steelers. That's my lock of the day, y'all. Baltimore over Pittsburgh. Read them and weep them.
Fair, and understandable, completely understandable. Like I said, I had a little panic attack when Denver was so far down. I swore at them. I was like, "Gosh, damn, you can't trust anything." But I'm also going with a sort of lock. I'm going to go with Detroit
Okay,
against the Panthers.
man,
Like,
brother. So far, Panthers have lost to everybody else. So I mean, yeah.
yeah, it's I was sitting here. I was like, do I use Detroit now because I feel like they're going to be a good team later in the season? But I was like, yeah, they're sort of a team I'm willing to use up now and rely on like Niners, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills a bit later.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So my lock is the Baltimore Ravens. Your lock is the Detroit Lions. So it should be a good one, y'all. So hey, y'all lock it in, y'all. That's what it is. That
Yeah.
is what it is. All right, y'all. So any questions you guys want to ask y'all, you can ask it right now, man. It's our closing messages, pretty much. Um, any kind of hot takes you want to talk about, TJ?
Oh, my hot take of the week. Now this is a hard one, but I think my hot take of the week is I see at least two rookie QBs in the playoffs this year.
Ooh, you wanna name them?
I think it's going to be. Oh, I think it's going to be Shroud and Anthony Richardson. I know they're both in the South. I think that
You
the
think two
Houston.
teams from the South going to the playoffs?
I think the South's going to get in, win the division, and I think the Colts are going to be the 7th seed.
Wow, that is a hot take, like a mofo, man. 'Cause that's my hot take. Oh, psych, I'm playing.
Just like,
That'd have been monster. That'd been crazy. No, honestly, my hot take, man. I need to write these things down, man. God dog it. Yeah, like I need to write these down, man. Hold on. I had one, but I'm like, I don't want to use that one. It seems kind of lame, man. But ooh, I'm gonna just the way. Hey, God, dog, and it's sad for me to say this because they're my Super Bowl favorite from the season, the Bengals. I, I think Bengals miss playoffs.
Oh,
Bengals miss
really?
playoffs. Oh man, I mean they're my Super Bowl winners, man. But I don't see where things can get a little bit better. I don't see where things can get better for the Bengals right now. I mean, you start off 1-3. If you lose to the Cardinals,
Yeah,
season over. 1-4,
yeah, that's true.
and you got this bad calf by Burrow. You got this bad calf. He's limping everywhere he goes. He's not putting a lot of power with his throw. And as a professional quarterback, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, you're right.
Makes a huge
It's just
difference.
if they lose Arizona, you just sit
You
Burrow,
just
just
see
let him
like
get.
yeah, it's one of them. All right, yeah, we got a hangover, but we're done. All right. I mean, that's like throwing a white flag if you lose to the Cardinals, man. It's like throwing. It's
Wow.
like early. I know it's super early, and I know well you can't think about that. It's still early. I'm like but you gotta understand these guys playing catch up at 1-4. You have to go and you have a tough division. This isn't an easy division where guys are just like poochies.
Yeah, it's not good. It's I just don't know how the Bengals, and I don't think it is all Burrow. I think play calling is also like Zach Taylor. It has to get some of the blame, especially if he's the coach. It's his decision. Like Joe Burrow will play no matter what, but if the coach needs to be like, no, like you are not healthy, don't play, and he's not. Because obviously Joe Burrow's his chance to win. But nice hot take. I understand. Like it's
Yeah,
going against your two
I
best
just,
band.
It sucks though, man. I don't know. Bengals are, yeah, real fans say Bengals might be the most disappointing team in the league. Burrow should have sat out the first couple weeks, but now he can't because they are struggling. That's right. Now you got to try
Yeah.
and overcome the hole you have dug. I don't like that. If you're a Bengals fan, you shouldn't like that at all. Mike Yo said, "What's up, guys? I had to work tonight, but I'm listening. Hey, it's all love, man. I appreciate it, my
I
guy.
do. Hope
Appreciate
work's
that.
not too terrible.
And like I said, I do apologize for the for let me try something.